Starlink Report.
What's it called?
The Starlink Report.
Ah. Okay, I have been talking about Starlink in several discussion groups I've been in. I talk about it here. I've talked about it at Tech for Seniors, and I've talked about it on with some of the groups, and I talked about it when we talk about cutting the cord. And this is what they're going to look like, or what they do look like. There are already a lot of them up there. This is how they send them up. There's 60 to a batch. So there's 60 of them right there. And then as they release them, they expand with the antennas. So less mass, more compact. Each satellite weighs approximately 260 kilograms. It's about 570 pounds, and features a compact flat panel design that minimizes volume, allowing for a dense launch stack to take full advantage of the launch capabilities of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket. The antennas, with 4 powerful phased array antennas on each satellite and an enormous amount of throughput, can be placed and redirected in a short time for an order of magnitude lower cost. The Starlink satellites feature a single solar array, significantly simplifying the system. Solar cells are standardized and easy to integrate into the manufacturing process. The ion propulsion systems, the Starlink satellites are equipped with efficient ion thrusters powered by krypton that enables the satellites to orbit, raise, maneuver in space, and deorbit at the end of their useful life. Starlink is the first krypton-propelled spacecraft ever flown. There's a star tracker. Custom built-in house navigation sensors tell each satellite its altitude, which helps enable precision placement of the broadband throughput. And an autonomous collision avoidance. Somebody asked a question about this at one of my recent meetings. Starlink satellites utilize inputs from the Department of Defense's debris tracking system to autonomously perform maneuvers to avoid collisions with space debris and other spacecraft. This capability reduces human error, allowing for more reliable and approach to collision avoidance. This is the space before launch with the capsule at the top. And this is what it looks like before launch. Here is a list of all of the launches so far. And you'll notice at the bottom, the last 2, one of them was yesterday, and the next one scheduled is on June 22nd. Now, there's a lot of information on this, and you can come back to this chart. I also, it's on Wikipedia. But just to summarize, on June 4th, this is just some of the latest liftoffs. June 4th, they put up 60 satellites. One of the satellites, dubbed VisorSat, had a sunshade to reduce the impact on ground-based astronomical observations. In other words, to keep from having a lot of reflection for the telescopes that were trying to look at the stars beyond. On June 13th, they put 58 satellites up there because they needed some more room, because they put 3 Planet Labs, SkySats 16 through 18 Earth observation satellites in place. And that was successful, and that was yesterday. Next week, additionally, 2 satellites, they're going to put 60 satellites up there, plus Black Sky Global 5 and 6, which will fly as rideshare payloads. All of the Starlink sats will be outfitted with the sunshade visor that was tested on a single sat on June 4th, on the June 4th liftoff. So they're going to put those on all of the new satellites that go up on the 22nd. Each of SpaceX's monthly launches of 60 internet beaming Starlink satellites carries 4,000 stripped down Linux computers, SpaceX software engineers have revealed. The constellation has more than 30,000 Linux nodes and more than 6,000 microcontrollers in space right now. SpaceX updated its Starlink website 2 days ago on Friday to allow prospective customers to sign up for news and service availability announcements. This is all there are some pictures. The pictures I showed earlier are on that site, but what you're basically doing is you go in, you put your email address, your zip code, so that when it's ready in your area, they'll let you know what country you're in and submit it. You'll get an email saying they got it. And that's all there is. And so you'll be getting some announcements as these things get closer and closer. The company plans to launch a public beta of the satellite internet service by the end of the Northern Hemisphere's summer and has won approval to deploy 1 million end-user terminals here in the U.S. I grabbed this from another site. This is not from Starlink. This is from someone who thinks that they know the answers. The estimated launch will be mid-2020, but Elon Musk has twittered that they will go into a beta in the summer, and by November should be ready for a wide public beta, not a wide, but a public beta, in the areas that are covered by the satellites that are already up there. And everyone has been asking how much is it going to cost, and there's been nothing on it. Somehow, where I found this slide, they have figured that the estimated cost is probably going to be around $80 a month, which isn't bad because I'm paying $75 right now for my service, and that's $150 up and $150 down using Fios or fiber optics. And the estimated equipment that you're going to have to buy is going to be between $100 and $300. And my understanding, somebody else on one of the podcasts that I was listening to, it's probably going to be a satellite dish about the size of a pizza. SpaceX recently applied to the Federal Communication Commission to launch 30,000 second-generation satellites over and above the 12,000 they've already been approved. Assuming the second-generation satellites carry the same number of Linux computers, it would mean SpaceX plans to send at least 2 million Linux computers into space in the next few years. It also means it's now sent 32,000 Linux computers to space for the existing constellation. We designed the system to use end-to-end encryption for our users' data to make breaking into a satellite or gateway less useful to an attacker who wants to intercept communications, wrote Matt Monson, SpaceX's director of satellite software. I put this in because I've had some questions, and how safe is this going to be? Well, obviously, they're trying to make it very safe for us. Every piece of hardware in our system, satellites, gateways, user terminals, is designed to only run software signed by us, by SpaceX, so that even if an attacker breaks in, they won't be able to gain a permanent foothold. SpaceX's Starlink satellite constellation is still deep into testing mode, but it's already generating 5 trillion bytes or 5 terabytes of data on a daily basis and getting software updates on a weekly basis. Not everything has gone right with Starlink software. We've had many instances where a satellite on orbit had a failure we'd never even conceived of before, but was able to keep itself safe long enough for us to debug it, figure out a fix or workaround, and push up a software update, Monson wrote. Monson said SpaceX usually updates the software on all of the satellites about once a week, with a bunch of smaller test deployments happening as well. Again, this has been
the Starlink Report. Starlink Report.